Hi, thank you. My name is Jemina. I am the East Africa Director for Hope Health Action. So Uganda hosts 1.4 million refugees, which makes it one of the largest refugee populations in the world. And the living conditions in the settlements are incredibly difficult, especially for people living with disabilities. There are minimal services for refugees with disabilities. There are hardly any agencies providing wheelchairs or prosthetics, and they often get excluded from livelihood opportunities. Hope Health Action has been working in the refugee settlements in Uganda since 2017, and we provide prosthetics, dozens of prosthetics every month, giving people often the chance to walk again or for the first time ever. We also provide wheelchairs and physiotherapy and occupational therapy support for people living with disabilities in the refugee settlements. The GDN awarded project Educate, Cultivate, Empower has enabled us to provide holistic support for refugees living with disabilities. We provide mobility support where it's needed, so we give people wheelchairs or prosthetics if they need them to participate in the project. And then we go on to provide seeds, tools, and initial training and mentoring support to enable them to cultivate crops and vegetables at a fairly large scale, so that they can not only feed their own households, but sell excess crops to create an income. We provide those who need them mobility devices such as prosthetics or wheelchairs, and then we go on to provide initial seeds and tools and training and mentoring support so that the families can produce their own crops and vegetables, so that they can feed their own families, but also create excess income to pay for other business opportunities or medical bills or school fees for their families. And the project is unique because it focuses on holistic support. We don't just provide a wheelchair, because if you give somebody a wheelchair, it may not be sustainable because they might not have the strength to move it because they haven't eaten. And we don't just give seeds, we give the seeds with extensive training for self-sustainability and ensuring that the families can go on producing their crops and income year on year. So the award from Global Development Network has been an incredible acknowledgement for our local team, many of whom are refugees themselves. It's also enabled us to support and extend the support to 100 new households in the Mijale community, which is right on the border of Uganda and South Sudan. And this is a community that isn't an official refugee settlement, so they have struggled with no provisions. There are no agencies providing support and no other NGOs providing support in that area. So this grant has not only enabled us to support some of the most vulnerable refugees, it's also enabled us to reach an area that is hard to reach with very minimal support from anybody else. The grant has also enabled us to build new partnerships and reach out to new donors, which is especially valuable to us now because we have big ambitions to replicate the project in South Sudan for those who are returning from the Ugandan refugee settlements, and they're returning to destroyed infrastructure and very little opportunities for livelihoods and farming. So replication of this project in South Sudan would not only help these people return to their homes, but to create an income, inclusive societies, and to help rebuild a war-torn community.